Coverage begins Saturday morning at 11 on Wood Radio.
Live from high atop Monroe Center in downtown Grand Rapids, we're talking about what matters most to you in West Michigan. Join the conversation now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on Wood Radio.
Welcome in, folks. Another big one. Beautiful day so far. The weather looking gorgeous. And throughout the weekend, we're going to have the details about more of that, what you can expect on the way. And they're back to work. At least some of them. The government shutdown is officially over. We'll have a little bit of a look back on the latest and well, it never ceases to amaze me. The latest hoax from the Democrat Party. It fizzled in within hours yesterday. I think folks are catching on to it. We'll get to all of that and more coming up in just moments.
News, weather, and traffic. And the biggest stories of the day. We're talking about what matters most in West Michigan and beyond. This is the Big Three. Now, today's Big Three.
The stories matter most. You'll be talking about these around the water cooler, the dinner table, no matter where you are. Powered by our good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. Dave Galloway and the team standing by to help you get it done. Buy, refi, home equity line of credit. You can take care of it. Answer all the questions you might have, even questions about that 15-year mortgage being floated around out there. He answered some of those for us yesterday. Make sure you check the archives, justinbarkley.com, the iHeartRadio app, wherever you download your podcasts for the latest. They're back open, the government at least, that is. It'll take time to get some of these things back and moving. But President Trump signed the bill late last night to reopen the government at the longest Schumer shutdown in history. We have to call it what it is. It was a Schumer shakedown, actually. Temporary spending bill allowing Congress to negotiate a budget, new one through January 30th. It does fund SNAP until September, I think is what I heard this morning. 6 House Dems joined the GOP to reopen the government. Are the airports fixed? Not quite yet, but cancellations aren't growing, so that's a good sign. And yes, Trump's signature paving the way for paychecks to flow to government employees, as well as the resumption of all of the SNAP benefits of things that we've been talking about, hearing about. The Democrats putting the most vulnerable at risk over the last 2 days and weeks, and you got to wonder why. For what? What did they even actually accomplish? It really is. The whole thing pretty sad, actually. The House set to vote next week on a contentious bill compelling the release of all the Justice Department's Jeffrey Epstein case files. On a Wednesday, the House Oversight Committee Democrats released what is the latest in the hoax edition. It fizzled within hours. Emails, they say, proved it. See, look, we finally got him. Trump, we got him this time. They redacted some information of one of the victims, a victim who had already said previously Trump had nothing to do with any of this. And boy, oh boy, it was easy to disprove. Within minutes after reading it, of course, the president denies all of this wrongdoing. And, you gotta wonder why. The same people who shut down the government because they said they care. They stopped feeding the vulnerable because they said they care. Didn't care. They didn't. They didn't care about any of this for years and years and years. And now all of a sudden they care. That's sounds like a low to me. Breaking news on Fox this morning. ICE announcing results of a new operation in Florida. We'll have details of that coming up in just moments. But authorities, meanwhile, identifying all 14 victims from the fiery UPS cargo plane crash last week in Louisville. Only 3 of them pilots. Another horrific moment in the skies. As you saw the video, I know you probably felt the same way. It was absolutely wild to watch. And now some answers, at least they'll dig for more in the days to come. And we'll make sure you get them. Truth, logic, and common sense right along with it this morning. Yep. Join the program at any time.
Call Justin now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Like I said, we're getting some breaking news out of Fox this morning.
Even before the president was able to take office. Our state has leaned forward on immigration and trying to get these type of folks out of your community. These are some of the worst child molesters, rapists, murderers, convicted criminals that have been in and out of your community for a long time. And we're not going to stand for it anymore.
Florida officials there, along with folks in ICE, speaking at a press conference. We'll have more on that coming up. The criminal crackdown happening as we speak in the Sunshine State. Joining us now from the Midwesterner, the Midwesterner.news with latest stories of the day and a look back on the week. My good friend Kyle Olson, thank you for being here with us today.
Good morning.
Yeah, it's been a wild week, hasn't it? I mean, we're only Thursday, but it's so far been a pretty wild week, not just throughout, obviously, what's happening across the country, but right here in Michigan as well. I know you've been on top of some of the latest. Jocelyn Benson, we didn't get a chance to talk about this last week as much as we really wanted to. This new big mega plant they want to put in this data plant, but it turns out the same woman who's broken the law multiple times over, wants to oversee her own election. By the way, it's not me saying that. Those are judges saying that. Wants to oversee her own election as governor here in the state of Michigan. We find apparently that her husband is involved in the latest, this, what some are calling this scam, this scheme to put in a data center. And I don't have all the answers on this yet, but at the very least, this story seems kind of fishy itself.
Yeah, basically what is happening is there's a company called Related Companies, which was started by Stephen Ross, who lives in Florida. He's a uber wealthy individual. He's given a lot of money to the University of Michigan. The vice president of Related Companies is Ryan Friedrichs, who is Jocelyn Benson's husband. One of their companies is called Related Digital, and Related Digital is trying to put a data center in Saline Township in southeast Michigan, and they're basically trying to jam this through. The local township cut a deal because they concluded that the state is just going to do whatever it wants, despite the fact that the local community doesn't want it. I mean, this is like Goshen 2.0. But the state has the power to say, no, we're going to do this. And so now what they're trying to do is they're trying to fast track it and get the Michigan Public Service Commission, which is Gretchen Whitmer appointees, it's her administration, to approve it so then they can start, building this 575-acre data center.
Yeah, the question about data centers right now, there's energy uses, there's water usage, there's whether or not these people want this type of thing in their backyard, which is a whole other thing that goes along with the wind, solar, and unicorn farts. I think there's a little more push for data centers, particularly from President Trump and some of the others who said, look, these are some of the things we've got to do. But what they're going to do to prices on your energy is a whole nother question. And you can't just cram this stuff down, although I know they need to move at breakneck speed, it would seem, to be able to compete with some of these things. They really do need to have this conversation with the folks who live there, the residents in these areas, to make sure that they understand what they're getting themselves into.
You would think that is the starting point. And if a community doesn't want this, then that should be, a major factor, if not the deciding factor, because this is really the rub. I mean, we've got a lot of urban areas, industrial areas that are vacant, but there's a lot of issues that go on with those because, there could be contaminated sites and all of that. And so what these developers and the Whitmer administration is saying is, well, let's take up farmland. Let's put these in rural areas. One, because the land is cheap. They, as we heard from Chuck Thalen, they need jobs, and like they said for the Goshen project. And so, but then you're creating the situation where people who live in the rural areas say, we like our rural area. We don't want a 575 acre, plant like this. And so then you've got that's the friction. But then on top of that, like you said, what is this going to do to energy rates? What is this going to do to water usage? All of those sorts of things. And we're going to have a story today. Abdul El Sayed, who's running for U.S. Senate, put out a video, which I thought was very interesting. And that was, he was making the argument, probably slightly different than I would make, but he was saying the Whitmer administration passed these green energy mandates. Well, if energy demand increases by 25%, then the green energy mandates are void. Well, his point was if we have all these data centers and the usage demand goes up, then is that going to undermine the green energy mandates? And I thought to myself, Gretchen Whitmer has to know that these mandates are not, they're not going to be able to chew up enough farmland in order to get the windmills and the solar, plants and all of that. So maybe she's using these data centers as a way to undermine her own mandates.
Yeah.
How dare you?
all of it just seems so much. And I don't know, look, this is a little bit off topic, but we were talking about the climate stuff yesterday, and they got a big climate conference going on in Brazil. They've all taken private jets there. And the latest story, just to show you how much of a mess all of this is, the latest story is that they had to cut a new road through the rainforest to get these people into the conference. And I'm thinking, wait a minute, are we saving the planet or not here? And I think the obvious is that they're interested in green energy, all right, but the green is dollar signs.
Blah, blah,
That's what we're watching. Speaking of which, another story. Rep. Steve Cora, and we talked a little bit about this last week too. Both folks in the Senate and the House coming together, pushing to abolish the MEDC. That's the company that makes all of this possible. By the way, if you want to find out more, you get it at the Midwesterner.news. Kyle, thank you for taking the time. I know I just realized I've kept you past your time limit. I apologize. You can hold it against me later. I will try to make it up to you, my friend.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day. There you go, folks. You can find out more, the Midwesterner, the Midwesterner.news. Don't just bookmark it. Definitely do that, but put in your email so you can get those updates on these stories and more. Got so much to get to today. And then, I see Kyle message say, hey, man, will you come on and talk about all of this stuff? We want to get an update. And he said, yes, but I got to be off by 9:15. And here I am. I've held him over 5 minutes, and I just realized it. So there you have it. He was gracious enough to come on, as he always does, to give us those updates. Thank you, sir, for doing that. And there you have it. It's important. These stories are so important. And we want to make sure you're up to speed. I know he does too. All right, folks, more in minutes. You can join the program anytime. That iHeartRadio app. Click that microphone button next to the play button and let it rip. Thanks to our good friends at MKD Funeral.
FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, November 13th. I'm Robin Poffman. The House votes to end the shutdown. 43 days, the longest shutdown in government history. This bill will fund the government through January 30th. In other news, the mainstream media sinking to new lows here in Michigan as around a dozen people turn out for a socialist protest. The Detroit Free Press actually spending time and money covering the tiny demonstration. The Drop Trump Coalition protest in Detroit with a dismal turnout, still a reporter assigned the story. A Governor Whitmer appointee and donor draws a $500,000 salary from a shady $20 million taxpayer-funded grant. Details for you at themidwesterner.news. And in case you missed it, President Trump calling out Michigan native Major Jonathan Turnbull during his Veterans Day speech at Arlington National Cemetery. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at midwesterner.news.
Hi, I'm Brett Bakita, and like many of you, I enjoy placing a friendly wager.
All right, folks, hang on. Behind the scenes live stream, folks, over on the VIP this morning, the Freedom Fam. Thank you so much for being here. Just $7 a month. Come and hang out with us. Pennies a day. Just pennies a day. Boy, they really got their money's worth yesterday. We had great conversations, which you'll be privy to in the next day or so. Panda, Terry, BKVE, good to see you. Patriot, Dean, Hemi. Oh, good question, Terry. Let me see. Maybe I can get our good friend Charlie LaDuff on next week. We're overdue for him. So let me see if I can get him on. Thank you for putting that in the chat too, by the way, and on the board over. And interesting questions about the mayor there, the new mayor in Detroit. Duga, good to see you. Jen Lynn, Beef Tips, good to see you. Maybe Meg, good to see you. Tennisel, Happy Hunter, Rocky, Kelly, and so many others inside this morning. Don't forget to share out the folks on the tube today on X. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you. The Getters in the house today. Thank you so much. We got Getter folks jumping on to hang out with us again. Make sure we say hi to them. Again, I'm going to do a better job, Getter folks. Making sure I say hi to you. I know I haven't been so good at that lately, but I'm done trying. I've made it an effort here. So thank you so much for being here. The Facebookers, Jason, Tammy, Jessica, Brian, appreciate you guys as well. Sean's in the house, Bonnie, and so many others. Back on the air here momentarily. Gubernatorial candidate join us at 9:35. With the big announcement. We'll have the latest on that one, too, coming up. Stand by. Here we go.
Bringing you a new snafu every single episode.
32 lost nuclear weapons. You're like, wait, stop? What?
Yeah, it's going to be a whole lot of history, a whole lot of funny, and a whole lot of fabulous guests. Paul Scheer, Angela and Jenna, Nick Kroll, Jordan Klepper. Open your free iHeartRadio app, search Snafu with Ed Helms, and listen now.
Setwood Radio is a preset now on our iHeartRadio app. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit autolaw.com.
That's autolaw.com.
Getting out of debt is just the beginning. Financial peace can change everything, folks. Learn how to take control of your money with The Ramsey Show. Tonight at 6 on Wood Radio.
With my signature, the federal government will now resume normal operations, and my administration and our partners in Congress will continue our work to lower the cost of living, restore public safety, grow our economy, and make America affordable again for all Americans. With my
That's President Trump last night in the Oval Office signing that continuing resolution. Again, it's just a continuing resolution. A lot of fanfare on it because it was the longest government shutdown in the history. The shakedown from Chuck Schumer and the others, Democrats there again. You know what's interesting? There were a few Democrats that actually crossed over. You had two Republicans, Thomas Massey, and I think it was Stubbe, that said they were going to vote. Now, for differing reasons. Stubbe was actually kind of interesting. Maybe you'll hear more about that in the news. That's what I think I caught it this morning. Fantastic behind the scenes. If not, we'll get you up to speed on that coming up here in just a little bit. Plus, you had Democrats crossing over to vote as well. And there were shenanigans in the Senate. It wasn't necessarily a clean CR. There was stuff that was chucked inside of it. Well, Johnson says he has plans for that. We'll see what comes of it. But, it's interesting. This whole thing about releasing the Epstein files and all this other stuff. Do you know that Rep. Tim Burchett from Tennessee, yesterday put something up that to have it released and Democrats voted down? So all this stuff where you see that what they just want to have it to use over the president.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC, unanimous consent, tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, just to cut out all this nonsense. And, and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough.
Well, they're online bringing it up to you in the comments sections in the chats over the next couple of days. Just said, why did they block it? Why if they want it out, why did they block it? Tim Burchett, always no nonsense, bringing up some good points. Look, yeah, we need to get down to the bottom of all of this, right? We need more answers, and we ought not stop until we get them all and hold all these folks accountable for everything that they were involved in. But here you go again, the Democrats using something very serious as a political tool, a weapon, really, all designed to get Trump, because that seems like the only thing they're interested in. They're not interested in helping you or helping get the country back on track. Why? Because it's all about power. They won't be satisfied until they put him out of business. Why? Because he's standing between you and them.
Asking the tough questions. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Attention, Grand Rapids. This Saturday, November 15th from 9 to noon, Mentality Health is hosting a health fair supporting the Grand Rapids Police Foundation. With a $50 donation on site, you'll get free lab testing and a free FDA-approved cognitive test to check your brain health in just 10 minutes. Plus, they're giving away 4 Grand Rapids Griffins hockey tickets. Stop by Mentality Health at 1971 East Beltline in Knapp's Corner. Come support your health and those who protect our community. That's Mentality Health in Knapp's Corner. Go online to mentalityhealth.com/radio for directions.
Find out how to.
All right, folks. There's some really interesting stuff, by the way, that came out yesterday. Some clips of some things that we want to make sure we're sharing with you as well. You want to hear more from Burchett? Burchett, to me, great guy. I got a chance to meet him when I was there a couple years back. Burchett, to me, is kind of like Senator Kennedy. No nonsense. He'll just kind of tell you like it is. There's no really beating around, but you'll know exactly. You'll know exactly where he stands on everything. He really does. He does not mince words. Anyway, yeah, let me give you a little bit, because there's more to this, and then there's more from the press yesterday, a gaggle where he was talking. And I love how he's working the camera too. He just opens that phone up and goes live, walking out of the House yesterday, Congress.
Hey, everybody. Tim Burchett just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC, unanimous consent, tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, just to cut out all this nonsense. And, and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now, I hear they've had it for 4 years, and they... obviously, if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it. And now they're all, let's get it out. Well,
he makes a good question. Let me roll that back. Listen.
Obviously, if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it. He's
absolutely right. If there really was something there, don't you think they would have put it out already? The whole thing is so silly, but a very serious subject. Again. But they're playing the games that they play. Hey, look, our next guest is on the line with us now. Let me bring him up, test the line. Hey, good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Justin. Good morning. How are you?
Good. We got you loud and clear. Anthony Hudson in the car. Where are you headed to right now?
I'm actually heading back from Dearborn. We were down there at 5 o'clock this morning. And no, I'm not driving for anyone watching. I have a driver today, so... but yeah, we're coming back from Dearborn.
That's important. No, I'm glad you said, because you would have had like 14 people in the comments saying, "What are you doing, Anthony, driving that car, talking
Yeah,
about?"
no, I'm going to get.
Uh-oh. We lost him. Hang on. Maybe he.
No, I'm here.
There we got him.
I'm here. Sorry, had a call come in, but yeah, no, my driver's right here.
Good deal. All right. So, hey, Will, I'm going to send you, I think I sent it to you, but I'll send you the backup just in case we get disconnected and we need to switch to phone or whatever. But if you got a good connection, we should be good.
Yeah, I've got a pretty good connection right now.
Sounds good. All right. Stand by. Hang on. Back with
Can you hear me?
Anthony Hudson running for governor here in just moments on the roads, the highways, and the byways rolling through the great.
And now they're all, let's get it out, let's get it out. Well, I just made a motion to bring it straight to the dadgum floor, and they blocked it. So this is politics. It has nothing to do with that, doing what's right. I mean, it's Washington, D.C. to a T. And again, they ought to be ashamed of themselves, but they're probably not. Thank y'all for sending me here.
He's so right. By the way, great comment in the chat here about the shutdown. Michael says, so in 2 months we'll be doing this again? Yeah, some of it. Not all of it. But I guarantee there'll be some of this. It depends on how much they deal with this Obamacare stuff in the meantime, in between time. Because whatever they do, they probably need to get done before the first of the year, because subsidies are going to go, people's bills are going to go up. That's a real thing, and Republicans are going to get blamed for it. I'm not saying Obamacare works. In fact, it does. Unfortunately, the way they wanted it to. They wanted it to end the way that it's ending here, essentially, is collapsing the system. That's what they wanted to happen. And that's what is happening. It's certainly not affordable. And you could argue whether or not it's healthcare or not, too. Coming up about a minute and a half back from getting back on the air here live, we're going to talk to Anthony Hudson in just a moment. Here's more from Tim Burchett.
This upcoming bill to release that Steam files? Yeah, that's why I just put a bill up. I just tried to move it ahead, because what you're seeing right now is what exactly is going to happen. It's going to continue happening. Everybody's going to pull little piecemeal portions. Sorry about that. I got to animate. I'm Southern Baptist. They're going to pull portions of it out, and they're going to try to fit their own little narrative. Both sides are going to do it. You all know it, and you're all going to feed upon it. Let's just get the dadgum bill out. Let's vote it out, and the Democrats oppose me on it. It's stupid. It's all about politics. It's not about taking care of young ladies who got abused, and we should take care of them. But there's a process in place. The Democrats have had it for 4 years and didn't do a dadgum thing. And you know, if Trump was in that thing, Biden, the rest of them, Kamala Harris, I mean, he's the Antichrist to them. They would have already had it out. What you got?
I was going to ask about health.
This upcoming bill to release that Steam files?
Yeah, there you go. I think all of that's pretty fair. I think those are pretty fair points.
They work before you lock your money.
All right, hang on 1 second. Back on the air here in just a moment. Anthony Hudson with us live en route. Crisscrossing the state. We'll have the latest there in just a moment. Stand by. Here we go.
Information provided in this material are for general informational purposes only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck, and you're listening to West Michigan Live with our good friend Justin Barclay. The Glenn Beck program coming up at 10 on Wood Radio.
Back after it, and more still yet to come. We got an update. The press conference they had this morning that was on Fox. Actually, it was news that came out yesterday. So it was some of it breaking, but most of it something that's already come out yesterday. Announced 150 illegal immigrant sex offenders arrested in the state of Florida. That part of Operation Criminal Return. By the way, you can't argue with that. I don't care who you are and how compassionate you say you are. When it comes to the worst of the worst, we all ought to be agreed on getting those folks out and getting them out for good. Up next, he's running for governor, and he's running down the roads right now here in Michigan. Anthony Hudson joins us on the show this morning. Welcome in.
Yeah, long time no see.
We just saw each other on Saturday at another big event. You've been going all across the state talking to folks. In fact, you're just getting back from one of those places right now. Where were you this morning?
A lot of speculation going on again about what's happening in Dearborn, and I've talked to local officials in Dearborn. I've talked to the police there. Go down, and we were going to visit Dearborn for a prayer at 6 o'clock. And we got down there expecting to hear this loud music and this call to prayer and all these people rushing the streets. It was as quiet as a cemetery. Not a thing. Nothing going on. People showed up and they went in and they prayed for about 10 minutes. Then they left, got in their cars. They went and did their thing. We even went to a mosque, the largest mosque in Dearborn, and we got there at the end of their call to prayer. Again, no music, no sound, no trajectory across the speakers. It was quiet as a mouse. So the point of this is to bring the reality of what Dearborn really is versus the speculation, the AI videos, and all the false reports that come from other places in the country or the world, ending it as Dearborn.
So, what was your takeaway then?
You know, this was the third day I've been in Dearborn this week, and I have not had one single person say anything bad to me in person. They've been very inviting, very welcoming, ask us to come into their restaurants to try some shawarma, some coffee, some chicken wings. They've been very open to us, and I'll be transparent with you. There are some bad seeds in every city, and we've had some pushback comments on social media about our big march that we're doing on Tuesday. But everyone needs to understand that this is just a peaceful walk to bridge the gap between hate and happiness. We're trying to bring the community together so that the rest of the state can understand what Deer really like when you go there. And from what I've seen, it's nothing like what the lame duck media has been putting out there.
So, what are you planning? I've heard you talk a little bit about this and what you're up to next Tuesday on the 18th in Dearborn. Go a little bit deeper into that, and are you asking people to join you? How should they proceed on
that? So we are asking people to join. We've had this walk in Dearborn. It's become news articles from the UK, from France, from even one from Pakistan sent me an article that they did on this. We picked up national news media. I was on Newsmax 2 nights ago, and then the night before that, I was also on Newsmax again, talking about this walk and what's going on in Dearborn. So we're asking people to come out and, use their First Amendment right, freedom to assemble, to get together peacefully, quietly, walk down the sidewalk, walk down the street, and bring this community together. We have a few organizations within the Muslim community that's going to join us to walk with us to show strength and unity. This is not a religious protest. This is not a racial protest. It's not a protest of any caliber. It's simply citizens of Michigan coming together to walk down the street and see for themselves, experience it firsthand. And law enforcement has said, you're welcome. You don't need a permit. Come on down, do your thing. We just ask that, you keep it as peaceful as you can. And I told him, I told the chief, I said, I'll do everything I can, but I'm not responsible for what infiltrators do or what other people do when they get into these big crowds. And we're expected to see anywhere north of 5,000 people show up.
Wow. So Tuesday, what time can people and should people try to plan for?
So we want people to show up at around 3 p.m. The walk is going to begin at 4 o'clock, and we're going to meet at the corner of Schaefer Road and Michigan Avenue. There's a big supermarket there with a big parking lot. We're going to congregate there, and then we're going to take our walk down to the City Hall building. It's about 1.8 miles west down Michigan Avenue, and then I'll be attending the city meeting at 7 o'clock there, where I get a chance to say a few things to the mayor.
Well, that meeting, and I know we talked about this a little bit, but that meeting has come under a little scrutiny lately because of what's happened there recently. You saw this yourself. A guy got silenced there. What do you expect to happen?
Well, I'm just going to ask the mayor straight up. Are you going to tell me that I'm not welcome here because there's 5,000 people outside that beg to differ with you? And we want the mayor to understand that he's an elected official. What he said to that pastor back in September was uncalled for. He should have been bigger than that. He should have been more professional than that, and he should have been more caring than that to tell people to come see us, encourage people to come to Dearborn. Not that you're going to throw a parade when they leave town. That to me is absurd, and that's not what leaders should be talking about. That's not what leaders should be, they shouldn't be seeing folks as a threat like that in their communities if their communities are a good, safe place to be. So I'm going to ask him the tough questions, and if he tells me I'm not welcome, then I'll tell him as governor that I don't think he's welcome in my state. I don't have a problem doing that.
Anthony Hudson's candidate for governor here in Michigan. Anything else that you're seeing on the roads while you're talking to people, having these conversations? I mean, I know there's quite a bit probably to cover there, but anything you're seeing on the road, you're hearing from people that are concerned in Michigan about where we're headed over the next 8 years?
Well, we've covered 25,000 miles across this state in the last 11 months, and we see a lot more potholes than I thought existed in this state. And obviously, this is a concern in Michigan because we've had the failed promises of fix the damn roads from our governor. We've also lost $9 billion of surplus money that was there when she took office. And a lot of the people, the temperature is that the education is failing, the state's failing, we're losing citizens in our state. And why is all this happening? And I think a lot of it is because of the high taxation and no representation that we're truly not getting from Lansing. So, when we talk about eliminating property taxes and state income taxes, we're telling the rest of the country that Michigan's open for business. Bring your businesses here, bring your jobs back here. And when those two things happen, people are going to naturally move back to Michigan because this is a beautiful state and there's a lot of things that this state offers. But, like our hat says, we have to fix Michigan and we have to do it in its entirety. We can't just, pick one issue here, one issue there. We need someone in Lansing that is going to roll up their sleeves and get to work and do the job start to finish. And I've lost faith that career politicians are capable of doing that, because if they were, they would have done it 20 years ago. So we're not sitting in the situation we're in today. So our philosophy, our outlook, our vision on the state of Michigan is to do the work now so that 20 years from now, people can look back and say, that was the turning point where Michigan became a great state again.
It's Anthony Hudson running for governor here in Michigan. The website, to make sure I get this right, electanthonyhudson.com if folks want to check that out. Where's another good way for them to follow you online or maybe keep up to date with you and everything you're doing?
Yeah, so we have a Facebook page. It's Anthony Hudson for FOR governor. We've just hit over 43,000 followers on there, and that's a new page. It's constantly growing every day. We're on Instagram. We're on TikTok. We're on YouTube. We're on X. I believe our X sign is Hudson, the number 4, and governor. Same call sign for YouTube. And, I'll put it out there. People can email me. They can call me. My email address is anthony@electanthonyhudson.com. Our campaign phone number is 810-285-2433. And right now we are literally doing a call to action to get Michigan involved with our petition so that we can get our signature. Change, They want something new. It's time for them to stand up and act on that and be a part of a real, true grassroots campaign. Help us get our signatures. If we don't make the ballot, this is all for naught, and Michigan will continue down the path it's going.
Anthony Hudson, always a pleasure. Thank you for taking the time and on the road to answer questions for folks, but also get them answered for you here as well, folks that are listening and watching online on the live stream and everywhere else in between. Thank you, my friend. Appreciate the time.
Yeah, Justin, it was great to finally meet you in person, and I hope we keep in touch. And your audience, the last time I was on your show, was phenomenal. They reached out in big waves, and I really appreciated that. And we look forward to connecting with them as often as they want to hear from us.
You got it. Anthony Hudson. ElectAnthonyHudson.com. More on that march next week, and more on the social sites, and of course online at the website as well. We'll keep you posted. Back with more in minutes. Stick with us. Don't go anywhere. It's West Michigan Live. I've got a story. You know, there's a story behind the story, or as Paul Harvey used to say, the rest of the story. And a lot of times you don't get to hear that about President Trump, like the story behind the story. But there's a couple of celebrities who just, well, you may not expect it, but they just experienced a death in their family, and the way that President Trump reached out and they were encountered by his kindness during that moment may blow you away. We're going to give you the details coming up after this. It's West Michigan Live. Don't go anywhere.
Where the truth isn't negotiable. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Thursday, November 13th. I'm Robin Poffman. It's a Midwesterner.news original story. Finally, it's over. Republicans had more than enough votes in the House, and now the government shutdown is done. The bill funds the government through January 30th. A reminder that Michigan's two Democrat senators, Slotkin and Peters, had voted to keep the shutdown going. In other news, a Governor Whitmer appointee and donor draws a $500,000 salary from a shady $20 million taxpayer-funded grant. Additional details for you at the Midwesterner.news. And the mainstream media is sinking to new lows here in Michigan as around a dozen people turn out for a socialist protest. The Detroit Free Press actually spending time and money covering this tiny demonstration, the Drop Trump Coalition protest in Detroit, with a dismal turnout, still a reporter assigned to the story. For these stories and more, visit the Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
If you're
All right, rocking and rolling, moving right along. Folks, look at this guy. GRPD searching for armed and dangerous suspect in dispensary. By the way, this is a serious story. Guy's got a shotgun here. And he is, it looks like he's almost like he's hunting ducks with Duck Dynasty there. He's got that big fake beard on. Guarantee they find him sooner than later. Somebody's going to see this dude. Look at how clear the video is nowadays. It's just wild. Police say this armed robbery took place at a dispensary, Knox NOXX Cannabis on Plainfield, 8:30 on Sunday, 8:30 p.m. on Sunday. They're looking for this guy. They consider him armed and dangerous and maybe high. So, there's a chance you may find him like in a Taco Bell drive-thru, or it's possible he might he might be at the 7-Eleven grabbing a big gulp of some Cheetos. We don't know, but keep an eye out for this guy. The suspect should be considered, they say, armed and dangerous or taking a nap. Either way, we're not sure, but if you go at guns blazing like this, chances are this guy had bigger ambition than smoking and all. He probably wants to sell it. Probably some sort of drug deal type of situation, though. All right, back at it in just moments. Stand by. Back on the air. That's right, Bruce. I put everybody on. That's true. Everybody gets a chance. And we're actually going to the second round now. So we've had them all on At least I think we've had them all on. There might be one guy we haven't had on. I got to get him on next. Hang on. Stand by. Back on the air here in just a moment.
You're listening to News Radio Wood 1300 and 1069 FM.
We just shared this off the air, behind the scenes live stream. The GRPD searching for an armed and dangerous suspect in a dispensary robbery. Looks like he's somebody from the Duck Dynasty show. He's got a big fake beard and a shotgun, and they say he's armed and dangerous, or in the Taco Bell drive-thru right now. Could be grabbing a big gulp at the 7-Eleven, some Cheetos. Armed and dangerous, or taking a nap somewhere. I don't know. Knox Cannabis on Plainfield is where this took place, and it's very serious. The guy walks in with a shotgun. That is a big deal. So I don't mean to make light of that, but you think in a situation like this, it's a lot of pot. I don't know what he got away with. Some of the details of this still a little sketchy, like the individual himself. But we'll put the link up in the stack, and you can be on the lookout for the guy as well. You may smell him, though. It may not just be that you see the guy. Now, I'm sure he'll take the beard off. It's not a real bit. It's like a costume, but you may, in fact, with that much pot, at the end of the day, it's my thought that you might smell him. Hey, after show coming up, FBI arresting Gavin Newsom's former chief of staff. Corruption allegations. California says they're going to do it. They're going to cancel some of the CDLs, the commercial driver's license, for over 17,000 illegals. What? All of a sudden, California wants to take, now that they've been caught, how do you get these guys off the road? And it's a new warning from Greta Thunberg and the rest. I guess it's out of this climate thing. They said, global warming is what we had to worry. Then they changed it to climate change, and it was probably so you could do something like this. It's no longer climate change we have to worry about. It is a coming ice age that we might.
How dare you?
You have to get ready for. So just get ready for all those things. But did you know, folks, that President Trump has a side of him that many people haven't seen? They just haven't seen. In fact, very few actually get a chance to experience it up close and personal, and you never really want to experience it this way. But the Osbournes did. Ozzy's family, Jack, his son, and his wife, Sharon, discussing on their latest podcast how well President Trump treated them in wake of their father's, the patriarch's, death.
I mean, should we play the voicemail?
Yeah.
Not saying who it's from. Everyone will know.
Hi, Sharon. It's Donald Trump, and I just wanted to wish you the best and the family of great. Ozzy was amazing. He was an amazing guy. I met him a few times, and I want to tell you, he was unique in every way and talented. So I just wanted to wish you the best, and it's a tough thing. I know how close you were, and whatever I can do, take care of yourself. Say hello to the family. Thanks. Bye.
Wow. That's incredible.
Love him or hate him, he didn't have to call and leave a voicemail.
Listen, when it comes to politics, we know nobody comes out a winner.
There's more to this conversation. And she actually in other clips that I've seen, and I'll make sure we post it on the stack too, but she actually goes on to say how she worked with him during The Apprentice, and he was so kind, and so was Melania, and treated the family so well. The video is really is something. And again, it's one of those things that you're not going to see on the nightly news, unfortunately. They're not going to tell you, they're not going to give you anything good on him. They're not going to tell you about who the guy really is, but you have little glimpses. in moments like that. One that I thought at least was worth sharing. We'll share more in the after show today, and maybe even overshare a little bit. If you want to join us, feel free. You can catch the show live or archive the iHeartRadio app or wherever you download your podcast. You want to see clips of things like that, we post everything in the Stack daily at justinbarkley.com. But don't forget, thanks to the folks who power the program, we got to say thank you to the folks at the Good Feet store who keep me moving, not just the news itself, but so my actual self, running, keeping after the kids on a daily basis. The Good Feet store has done it time and time again, no matter what season we're in. And we're getting ready to ramp up into another one. So make sure that you reach out to the folks at the Good Feet store. Stop in today, in fact. 28th Street, right in front of Costco, or in Portage on West Nidge in front of Kohl's, and see for yourself the difference that those Good Feet personalized arch supports make. For me, I was in a lot of pain with, the tendonitis and things like that. But if you're just feeling uncomfortable in your shoes or in your daily life, maybe you're on your feet, nurses love the Good Feet store. Folks that are working on a daily basis, whether you're wearing boots or nursing shit, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Get in and see them for yourself. Maybe they can help you make your job much more comfortable and easier to do at the Good Feet store. It's worth a shot. See if you can experience what I did at the Good Feet store. Tell them I sent you. We're back with more. In the meantime, the Glenn Beck program is coming up next. Wishing you the best. Make it a great day. God bless.
Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those that trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, deliver us from evil. God is the kingdom, power, and glory forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
WOOD Grand Rapids, WOOD FM Muskegon. The news is next on Wood Radio.
Hey, equipment owners, keep your machines running strong this winter with burnups.
Excuse me, folks. We've got an after show we got to get through, so stand by for that. Got some stories that we got to share that we just didn't get a chance to blow through earlier. So let's make sure we get you up to speed on all of that and more in the show after the show. Don't forget, just $7 a month to join us in the VIP Freedom Fam. Will you be able to ask me anything after the after show? We call that the after party for the remnants, for the folks that like to hang out. Stand by, hang on, here we go. Get ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barkley. Come into it, the after show, the show after the show. Never a dull moment, never enough time to get to it all, but we've done our best to make sure that you hear the stories that you just won't get anywhere else. So thank you. Thank you for being here with us today. Okay, I got a couple of big things we want to talk about. The meltdown ahead of the House vote. The Democrats just didn't want it open. Boy, they were just wailing throughout the entire thing. We've got fentanyl breakthrough in China. Fixing the fraud in the swamp, and a lot of that has to do with SNAP. I'm wondering about SNAP numbers. A lot of this brought to light some really interesting details that you're going to want to hear, and more. We'll break it down for you. Oh, I even got some good stuff from The View today that won't make you squirm too much, and it might make you laugh, chuckle, maybe even lose the coffee. So I'll warn you when that comes up. Whatever you're sipping on this morning. So just get ready for that. In the meantime, Bill O'Reilly summing up the latest smear attempt in the hoax against President Trump. And the Epstein emails, this whole thing is just a absolute. It's silly. It crumbled in like hours, in record time yesterday. He sums it up in 3 words.
What we see today is a bunch of innuendo. It's hearsay. There isn't any direct backup for any allegation because there aren't any allegations other than Trump may have been in a house where there are some girls. Right. Okay. So you have the lady in question, and I feel very bad for Miss Giuffre's family. He committed suicide. What a horrible thing. The whole thing is just awful. And that's right on Epstein. You have her saying under oath, Trump didn't do anything, and you have Maxwell. But here's the most important person you have, not under oath. Dershowitz. Dershowitz was Epstein's lawyer, and lawyer-client confidentiality ends with death. Dershowitz went on television today, said, I have all of the Epstein stuff, and there isn't anything. And I asked Epstein directly, while I was representing him, whether Donald Trump was involved in any kind of untoward activity. And Epstein said no. So now you have the 3 principal players in this case, all saying the same thing. Yet the press is so irresponsible, so corrupt, so hateful, they will not even mention that. It's death by innuendo. That is what they are aiming for.
Stephen A., what you think?
I get that. And I think that what Bill said and just articulated is incredibly important. It is death by innuendo.
That's the whole thing. Again, and all it is red meat for their base. They're trying to strip away some people inside the MAGA camp right now because there is a bit of a civil war happening inside the left and the right now for various different reasons. You don't know if it's all out in the right, but it is certainly in the left. So there's this idea that we can tear some people off as support for Donald Trump by doing stuff like this. And again, this is something that's been part of sort of that tactic for the longest time. Erode support, smear campaigns, hoaxes, and all this. They're finally going to get him. Finally going to get him this time is what they're saying. And I just tell you, it is. This is one of the easiest to spot things that you've ever seen. And again, the Democrats, CNN, MSDNC will run with it, but it just, I don't know how much traction it actually gets. Democrat Rep Melanie Stansberry, hilarious in some of the, well, it's kind of disgusting too, but listen to some of the things she had to say yesterday.
Like, this should be raising every hair on the back of your neck right now. We don't even know that is who is named in this email.
Yeah, we do.
Secondly, whether or not Virginia Giuffre has accused the...
We know it was Virginia. We know it was her. I'll tell you why. Because these emails and these conversations aren't new. They're putting it out there like it's all new, like this is all new information, but it's not.
President of wrongdoing. What I'd like to say to the American people is believe your eyes. We have all seen the photographs of Donald Trump.
Believe me. Listen to me.
With underage girls sitting on his lap. We know that he was best friends.
This is just complete BS baloney.
With Jeffrey Epstein for more than a decade. We know that he has not complied with our congressional subpoena of the DOJ files, and we know that he is named multiple times in those files. So believe your eyes, believe your ears. And my question is, if they were not engaged in an elaborate smokescreen and cover-up, then why the hell is the president calling and threatening members of Congress for them to not take a vote on releasing these files after these files have already been subpoenaed?
None of this is real. There is no truth to any of it. In fact, I don't know for a fact, and it's a good question. Who is she talking about? The underage girl sitting on his lap. Is she talking about his daughter, Ivanka? There's no underage girl sitting on Trump's lap. This is insane. If there was, it'd be the only photo we'd seen. These people just lie. We've been through 40 some odd days of them lying about the shutdown. Nobody believes any of this.
They are trying to bury this, and the president is personally trying to stop Congress from asking for these files again.
She said, don't believe what you're hearing right now. Don't believe what you heard the actual victim, Virginia Giuffre, say. And CNN even pointing this out. Listen to this.
2011. Republicans are saying that victim is Virginia Giuffre. As you know, she died by suicide. She's been very outspoken victim of Jeffrey Epstein. Here's the email right here on your screen. She wrote a book, as you know, and she did not accuse him of any wrongdoing. What do you make of that? And can you confirm that?
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, it's redacted who the victim is, so I won't necessarily take the Republicans' word.
That's Jasmine Crockett.
On who it is that's redacted. And I don't know why they would necessarily redact someone's name who is deceased.
The Democrats did this. Why would the Democrats do that? There's a reason they would redact the name. Because there's proof. She's already said Trump didn't have anything to do with it. They're redacting the name to cause this to be more cloudy. It's not for transparency reasons.
At this point,
the Democrats did that, though. The Democrats redacted.
No. I understand, but I'm just saying, our biggest concern is to actually make sure that we are protecting.
Your biggest concern is to try and get Donald Trump at every cost, and it doesn't matter what you do. Truth be damned, you don't care. The Democrats, they're the ones who redacted it. CNN says, well, I understand that.
Victims, and obviously, she wrote a book. She told her truth.
This isn't even.
She told the truth, and Trump wasn't involved. You've really got to. I mean, this is, you got to do some real mental gymnastics to try and make this work, and obviously. It's wow. This is, by the way, this is the same Jasmine Crockett who tried to mock the way that MAGA, she says MAGA women.
Okay, a lot of the MAGA women receive gender affirming care such as lip fillers, breast augmentation, etc. Why do you think they are so against gender affirming care for trans people?
You know you want to say it.
Okay, so I have this thing where, like, you know a MAGA woman when you see one.
1000%.
They all have a look, right?
Why is she talking about how MAGA women look standing next to a dude in a dress?
But they lips be up to, anyway, that's a whole other issue. But yeah, they don't even know. Because when that was brought up on the House floor, because there was a discussion about this on the House floor, they were like, how dare you say we use, and it's like, no, that's exactly what y'all do. Y'all just didn't realize that that's what it is. But okay.
Yeah.
I have no idea what she's talking about. She's not going to be in Congress for long. Her district in Texas is probably getting chopped up, and she's probably going away soon, anytime. Anyway, The View had to weigh in on this because I know you're so excited to hear about what The View says about all of this. All right, let's hear it. Here's Whoopi.
Now, the White House has not responded, and the president has not been accused of any wrongdoing and denies any knowledge of Epstein's alleged crimes. But this is a lot of, how many emails was it? Like
about 20,000 have been released this morning by the House Oversight Democrats. So
and I have 3 of them right here.
Emails of doctors, I should say.
Yeah.
But
By the way, these are emails that mention Trump's name. And if you go and actually read the emails, like if you really dig into them, they're talking about him. It's not emails where like he's talking to anybody else or anything like that. They're talking about him as if one of them, I think it's all how you read it. One of them is like, is he gonna burn us? In other words, he knew. And by the way, we know he knew. We've had this information for a long time now because we've got one of the attorneys of the victims, saying that Trump was working behind the scenes and he had done a lot to help the victims. How about that?
Republicans released.
Yeah, it is really interesting to me that, for somebody who screams in the middle of the night on X, who sends out missives that it's been crickets for the last little while, since people have been saying, well, what is your response to this? So what do y'all think?
He's not feeding it because it's insanity.
Well, you know, during Watergate, the phrase came up, the cover-up is worse than the crime. And that's what the issue that I'm having here. Time and time again, Donald Trump has said, I don't really know much about this Ghislaine. I had a falling out with Epstein. He even denied taking part in a 50th birthday sort of book collection and drawing.
It's obvious that wasn't him. Let's hear from some credible people, because there's only so much of that I can take. Let's hear from some credible people. How about, would you consider the attorney for the Epstein victims, would you consider him a credible individual? Let's hear what he has to say about it. By the way, this is back in like 2015, something like that.
The Palm Beach County Courthouse just wrapped up the civil trial dealing with Mr. Bradley Edwards, attorney who's represented many of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. First off, thank you so much for your work and for everything you've done. Absolutely welcome. This goes to the more salacious rumors, but I would like you to just, whatever you can say on it. Obviously, our current president has had relationships with Epstein in the past, and there are those Katie Johnson and maybe other victims who have accused Trump of being involved in things like this. In my experience, Trump supporters will not listen to anything along those lines. Obviously, we're not a court of law here right now, but are those claims that that case was dropped, it was dropped before it went to court. In your opinion as a lawyer and your experience, is there anything you can say as to the validity of those claims, or whether or not there will be any more about that? There will be any more about that?
Nothing at all. The only thing that I can say about President Trump is that he is the only person who, in 2009, when I served a lot of subpoenas on a lot of people, or at least gave notice to some pretty connected people that I wanted to talk to them, he is the only person who picked up the phone and said, let's just talk. I'll give you as much time as you want. I'll tell you what you need to know, and was very helpful in the information that he gave, and gave no indication whatsoever that he was involved in anything untoward whatsoever, but had good information that checked out and that helped us, and that we didn't have to take a deposition of him.
This is incredible. This is a lawyer, this is an attorney saying that Trump helped them, the victims, the attorney, in order to prosecute and go after
That was in 2009?
That was in 2009. So,
do you know if there's any truth to James Patterson's claims that Trump kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago?
I've definitely heard that. I definitely heard that, and I don't know that it was Trump himself as opposed to a manager there.
Trump's club, so
yeah,
people credit him.
I've heard the rumor that Epstein was kicked out of there for allegedly trying to pick up somebody's daughter or something like that. But I think I did chase that down as far as I could, and never was able to confirm it.
How about that? We never get to hear or see any of this on the nightly news. It's a shame. And I wonder why. It's just interesting, isn't it? We don't get to see. 2024, CNN reporting that according to a 2011 email written by Virginia Giuffre, Bill Clinton had stopped Vanity Fair from writing sex trafficking articles on Epstein. Why is it all about Trump? How come they're not mentioning Clinton at all? I mean, if they really wanted the truth and get down to the bottom of all this.
New details this morning. Hundreds of new pages have been unsealed in a lawsuit connected to convicted pedophile Jeffrey Epstein. The victim alleges that former President Clinton pressured Vanity Fair not to run a story on Epstein. The pages also shed new light on how Epstein's victims were recruited and what happened to them. CNN's Gene Cesaris joins us now. And Gene, we're talking about 900 pages here, so there's a lot to go through. What new details have come out?
Well, they came out last night, combing through them. And, this all stems from a 2015 civil suit brought by Virginia Giuffre against Ghislaine Maxwell. And Virginia Giuffre had wanted her story to come out. She wanted a book. And so she became very close with a reporter out of Britain. And this reporter was encouraging her to go to the Vanity Fair magazine to have them do an article on it. And here is what, in a newly undisclosed email from 2011, Here's what Virginia Giuffre says. She says, considering that B. Clinton walked into VF, Vanity Fair, and threatened them not to write sex trafficking articles about his good friend, J.E., Jeffrey Epstein, so she didn't want to do it.
Really interesting. Well, there it is on CNN. They had no problem reporting back in 2024 on that. I just wonder, again, how things are running. Yeah, this is Rep. Tim Burchett on Burchett from Tennessee on the vote that he tried to get yesterday because Democrats voted this down.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett just left the House floor, and I tried to do a UC unanimous consent of I tried to get the Epstein files, get it straight to the floor, just to cut out all this nonsense, and and the Democrats blocked it, oddly enough. Now here they've had it.
No, they blocked it, and what's worse?
For 4 years.
They've had it for 4 years,
and they obviously, if there's something there about Trump, they would have released it.
Obviously, if there was something there about Trump, they would have released it. So we've got Burchett saying they tried to get a vote through yesterday, wouldn't vote on it. This is all political theater. It's all nonsense. They don't really care about helping the victims. What they care about is trying to get Trump, and it couldn't be more obvious.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong. And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein. Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep. And this email you refer to with the name of a victim that was unredacted now and has since been reported on in this room, so I will go ahead and say it, Virginia Giuffre. And it was CBS's own reporting, Ouija, that recently wrote that Miss Giuffre maintained, and God rest her soul, that she maintained that there was nothing inappropriate she ever witnessed, that President Trump was always extremely professional and friendly to her. And so I think it's a question worth asking the Democrat Party, and you should all go ask them after this briefing, of why they chose to redact that name of a victim who has already publicly made statements about her relationship with Jeffrey Epstein and is unfortunately no longer with us.
It really is interesting, isn't it? Put all the pieces together, and the puzzle picture that you get really is interesting. Hey, they're cracking down. Snap is back, but they are cracking down. And starting next week, in fact, Secretary of the Agriculture Secretary, the Agriculture Department, USDA. This is Secretary Rollins talking about Laura Ingraham last night, what they've discovered and what they're doing
I
now.
think what the Democrats did not include in their calculation in their insane government shutdown was the fact that this spotlight was going to be shined upon one of their favorite government welfare programs that under Joe Biden increased 40%. Where all that money went, trying to buy elections, we're not 100% sure, but we're rolling it back now. On day one, back in February, for me, we sent a letter to every governor saying, send us your SNAP data. All of this money that the federal government, the taxpayers are paying for food stamps, we don't even know where it goes, what happens, what they're doing with it. And we said no more. So 29 states complied and 20 plus others did not. And we're suing. We're in a litigation right now. But of the 29 that complied, what we have found is staggering. 500,000 people getting benefits 2 times under the same name. 5,000 dead people. 80% of the able-bodied Americans, meaning they can work, they don't have small children at home, they're not taking care of an elderly parent, they can work and they choose not to work, of course, because they're getting significant benefits from the taxpayer. So this light, Laura, that has now been shined on what is perhaps one of the most corrupt, dysfunctional programs in American history that we are working now. Very big announcements coming next week on this. We are cracking down. We now have a plan to fix it. And we're really, really excited about doing that for the American people.
What about what's coming? 5,000 dead people getting SNAP, 500,000 people getting SNAP 2 times under the same name. That's just what they've discovered so far. 80% of able-bodied Americans, they can work, don't have small children, taking care of an elderly parent, whatever. They can work, she said. They choose not to work. Very big announcement coming in the next week. And I'm telling you, I knew this was going to backfire on the Democrats. Like, when the middle class found out what was going to some of these people and how bad it was, because that's what they did. Again, you want to take care, we want to help some people out. Obviously, there are people that are very much vulnerable in need. Those people are only being put at risk because of the waste, fraud, and abuse. It's obvious. It's clear. And it ought to be cleared up. Speaking of clearing things up, I'm not going to read the whole thing or play the whole thing, but Pat McAfee added again on his show because people are still sounding off. This is on ESPN about the fact that he had President Trump on Veterans Day. So got a lot of people that don't know what a football looks like telling me that they're never watching my show again. I would like to let you know, good. Expletive you. Now I'll warn you because there might be a little bit. We know there's a little bit in here. Little bit of language. Keep that in mind. A little bit of language in here. Keep that in mind. If you got young ears around, maybe you got to turn the volume down just for a moment, but I thought this was funny and wordful.
Yesterday, obviously, we had the incredible honor of being down on Paris Island for Veterans Day as all 4 of the main league's commissioners dropped a note to the veterans letting them know how much we appreciate them. UFC President Dana White sent a message of appreciation and gratitude to our America's heroes. We also had the Secretary of Veterans Affairs, Doug Collins, who sent a message to the young vets out there. And we also had the Commander-in-Chief on the show live. I believe it's the second time that a sitting president has been live on an ESPN show. The last one was from a Democratic political party. This one obviously representing, I guess, the Republican political party. But in my eyes, he's the leader of the military, and we were celebrating the hell at a Veterans Day. Now, there are people who are certainly not the most happy that happened, but what I would like to say, every veteran military person I talked to is very grateful and thankful that we spotlighted the heroes of America who walk amongst us, who are willing to sign a line and go for the United States of America as opposed to anything else. So if you're against what happened yesterday, I'd like to say you hate the troops.
You know what this thing is doing? This Trump derangement syndrome is just, it really is funny because it's activating people that were never political. Now they're starting to see it. They're like, what? All we did was honor the troops. And now all of a sudden I'm a bad guy because I had Trump on? This is crazy. This is insane. Speaking of crazy. Oh, yeah, they're seeing it. They're seeing it. And I think lots of other people are, especially when it comes to this whole climate change fiasco. Because it's not global warming anymore. Now they're saying we got an ice age on the way, cutting down the rainforest, flying in their private jets down to the climate conference.
How dare you?
Greta's remember, Greta's all in for Palestine. She's out of the climate racket now, apparently. Oh, man. Climate scientists controversial claim the Gulf Stream could be near collapse, predicting a new ice age. A key Atlantic current could be pushed to the brink of collapse within decades. I've heard this before, by the way. The whole movie, Art Bell was involved. You remember the radio guy, Art Bell? He and I think it was, what's that guy's name? Whitley Strieber. They did a book. And it ended up becoming a movie. Remember, they had the Day After Tomorrow, I think is what it was called. They had the Ice Age, ice over the Statue of Liberty and all that. Yeah, they bring this stuff back every so often. They bring it back. It's like a cycle. They just goes in cycles. Key Atlantic current could collapse within decades, supposedly ushering in the new ice age, dramatically raising sea levels. Scientists. Now, I'm not saying it's not going to happen. But if it does, it's not because of your SUV. Let's be clear. This is pretty easy, right? It's probably, if it does happen, not because of your SUV. The apocalyptic predictions came as a result of collaboration between the researchers at the Institute of Oceanology of the Chinese Academy of Sciences and the University of California, San Diego. Weeks after the one-time climate alarmist Bill Gates publicly downplayed the impact of temperature fluctuations. So the guy that wanted to blot out the sun at one point decided now he's no longer concerned about global warming. And they have released this new report. Here's a little bit of what the Gulf Stream looks like and how it could impact. As if any of this means anything to you. I don't know. It's kind of strange. I know. I just you hear this stuff and it's almost you're like it's okay. You act like we have no memory. We act like we have no memory involved in any of this. Yeah, okay. California guest wants to act like you have no memory as well. They're going to cancel 17,000 commercial driver's license. They want you to believe, I guess, that they never gave them out. That's probably it's probably what this is. Yeah, no, pay no attention. We had nothing to do with any of this. They've been caught, they've been busted, and now they're making moves to make it look like gruesome Gavin Newsom isn't the freak, the fraud that he is. And we'll see how long all of this lasts. They're still out on the roads. This is hilarious, and at the same time, dangerous, ridiculous, and horrifying. They're still out of the roads. Let's pull them now. ICE is working in some places to do just that. Hey, I've got a programming note for the folks that are listening today. So tomorrow you're going to want to come back because we have a stream for you. It won't be live. It'll be special programming that some folks in the VIP already got a chance to see, but you will see it fresh and for the first time. So it'll air tomorrow. My dad's birthday. He's turning 80. My dad's birthday tomorrow, and I'm going to be celebrating with my dad. And so unfortunately, won't have a live show for you, but we will have special programming that I think you're going to enjoy. And it'll be a time that you can come together, and in the stream, I think it's going to last about an hour or so. So you still have a chance to come in and chat and have fun and do it. So you get a little bit of the routine in still. All right. Thanks to the folks at MyPillow for sponsoring the program today and every day. They help support it, make it happen, and you get the deals. You get the savings. You can help support me and the show. You can help support Mike in the fight for truth, logic, and common sense, election integrity, and for this country and more. MyPillow.com, mystore.com/Justin. Lots of savings inside and lots of great gifts for the holidays as well. So check that out. Indeed, while you still have a chance. In the meantime, I wish you the best. Thank you so much for being here with us. I always appreciate your support. Thank you for sharing the show and just coming together. Never forget, no matter what the headlines, good news is God is still on the throne. Make it a great one. God bless. Preparewithjustin.com. And speaking of Black Friday specials, they're about to roll them out. Healthwithjustin.com. Maha Missy and the folks of My Pure Health Solutions want to get you healthier each and every day. We're fighting for this country, and we got to fight for our own health as well so that we can make ourselves healthy, get the country back on track. And I'm in the process of doing that. Over 20 pounds down right now. My wife has dropped a bunch too, and I got to tell you, you'll never feel better. Your clothes fit better. But the energy that you have when you work with the folks at My Pure Health Solutions is just incredible. It's gone through the roof. See all the great success stories. Our good friend Trucker Randy, Steve Gruber, and the rest of them at healthwithjustin.com. Listen to our discussion with Maha Missy and find out how they can help you too. But reach out and ask about that Black Friday special deal. Healthwithjustin.com. Go to healthwithjustin.com to get on track and make America healthy again. One person